Hey guys, welcome back to In the Woods. Well, winter's upon us. The temperature has changed and we went from beautiful 15, 20 degree weather last week to, well, it's hard to believe, -2, -3 overnight. And this weekend they're calling for flurries. So instead of procrastinating, I better get the snowblower looked after, make sure it runs, grease up everything, check the oil levels. So I figured today's a better day than any other. It's raining and it's gloomy outside, so stick around and we'll get started. All right, thanks for joining us. Okay, so this is one of 3 snowblowers that we use. This one's the Craftsman 1150 27-inch. She's in great shape and is in immaculate condition. We look after her. I did the oil change on it last year. So the oil, very little usage, so the oil's still gonna be clean. So I'm gonna skip that part of the demonstration. But if I was gonna change the oil, right here, a little dark, that's my drain. I would undo that bolt, drain the oil, and then we would refill it there. So, well, why don't we start by checking the oil levels. All right, so let's take out the dipstick and we'll see and make sure the oil levels. Well, you can see it, she's right to the top of the dots. So the oil is still quite clean. Like I said, this one doesn't get used that often, but it still does get used. And I like to, oh yeah, there it is. So it's good, oil's clean. And perfect, so I'm not going to bother changing it. I'll leave it till beginning of next season. So with that's done, okay. Second thing is what I like to do is tire pressure. Tire pressure, I usually like to keep it at around 2.5, 3 psi. No more than that. They're still solid. They're not flat at all. But I'm gonna get my tire gauge. Take off the cap, turn on the gauge, get into it, and like I said, 3 pounds. So for me, that is perfect. I'll check the other side, reset it, and perfect. Both of them are at 3. One of the other things I like to do while I'm making sure everything is working, I like to lubricate, spray all the moving parts, give it a good greasing, make sure everything's moving, make sure, check the auger, the back blade, make sure that the everything's intact, nothing's loose. So, all right, so like I said, there's a few contact spots that I like to get in to make sure everything's sprayed, nothing gets always looks nice. You know what I mean? And also the inside where the smell goes. And shoot. Now I have pivot points here which are very get the worm gears. Like I always say, don't be tight, don't be cheap. But there right now, a little extra lubrication never hurt. See, what people also forget is that there's moving parts on all the levers. So I always make sure that where it moves, it doesn't hurt to get in there and give it a good spray. Right now. problems with any of the controllers. Now, perfect. We sprayed all the linkages, the worm gears, the U-joints, the linkages at the top, the handles. That's all good. Now in the fall, when I put this away, I put some fuel stabilizer in there. There's a little bit of fuel. Tire pressures are good. Oil levels are good, so you know that. So one last thing that I would like to do is I want to check the auger. Make sure everything's intact, nothing's loose, everything's in its position. So let's do that. And then we can... All right, so we've done pretty much all the basic stuff. Tire pressure, we checked the fuel, and we checked the oils. We've greased everything. The only thing I want to do now is I want to prime it, make sure my choke works, and start it, and make sure it starts. The nice thing about this one here is a fuel shut off, which I love on all my equipment. I think it's the greatest thing. Shut the fuel off, let it run out, bowl goes dry, you don't have any buildup, no carbon, no gunk, no nothing inside of it. Okay, so right here, fuel shut off, like I said, greatest thing I think that they've ever done for any gas operated machine. So we have our RPM and prime, choke, and ignition switch. So why don't we set this camera down, we'll get it all set up, and we'll see if we can get it started. And we'll also check the electric start on it, which I'll tell you the truth, I never really used because it's so simple and so easy to start. Just give it a quick pull, but just for the video we'll do that. Okay, so I haven't changed any of the settings, everything's still the way it should be. I just put the choke back on. It's gonna be... That's on low idle. Pretty good. All right, so we know that it starts everything. So now my last step is I want to try, make sure the auger turns and engages and the transmission is working. So why don't we do that? All right, so we'll do it again. We'll start it and we'll go from there. So, ignition's on. There you have it, pre-winter inspection on my Craftsman 1150 27-inch snowblower. She's all good to go. And I didn't want to leave them out, but I never adjust them. They're always set. They haven't changed my tracks at the bottom. So it always has the perfect elevation when I'm snow plowing. So, I'm in the woods, be good, be safe, hit that like button, and we'll catch you next time when it snows. All right. Take care. Thanks.